Welcome to Invest. We talk about investing, finance, and professional development. So it's my last meeting today. And before I wrap up for the day, first I want to test my camera that I just got. In case you haven't noticed, I'm using my remote control to be changing my camera angle, and you can see that I could also zoom in and out. Let me know if you like the camera quality, by the way. But the real reason behind me posting again today is just to, mentally reframe ourselves, and also correct our emotional volatility that we're experiencing right now, right? There's a lot of emotions, there's a lot of media affectation that's driving us to be, sometimes not making the most logical decision, right? So the way I want to just kind of talk about is just to I guess not predicting, but what I foresee the play-by-play will look like in the next 48 hours. And I might be wrong, but I just want to use my logical frame of reference to see what's going to be happening, right? Without looking at the charts, but we have been reading the charts for quite some time now, but let's just logically think what will happen technically, right? So far, with respect to how the story has played out since the beginning is with respect to the CPI report that came out on Friday, obviously on the 10th. And the CPI report was obviously a big miss, right? It was a historical record number, a negative one, depicting that inflationary pressure is going to be a lot more aggressive coming, and also with respect to the verge of, being into recession in the near future is becoming more and more imminent going forward. So with that being said, as we shift towards the weekend, combined with the weekend affectation, combined with obviously what we've seen during this weekend, the Celsius incidents, and also with respect to, the supplementary factor that we heard from Joe Biden during this last Friday evening on his depictions on the oil crisis due to the cannibalization from, the oil giants ExxonMobil, right? So a lot of negative stir. And then as you do on Saturday and Sunday, because of the elongation of time period, knowing the fact that we have a negative CPI report, it means that when we hear from Jerome himself around, are we going to be raising the interest rates? With this long, elongated water torture, it kind of drag out the bandage, right? It's kind of peeling off the bandage slowly. It allow for the scab to kind of slowly peel off in this really uncomfortable type of progression, right? It's kind of like a slow bleed, right? It feels more like an internal bleeding, to be honest, right? And that's Monday to raise, that's when the market opens and you start to see a lot of institutional activity around selling pressure, and then next thing you know, you have this herd mentality combined with just more active negative news cultivating around this anticipatory pressure ahead of the FOMC meeting that's going to be happening technically 2 days from now, right? But in terms of all of these I guess foreshadowed factors, or people try to price in ahead of it being confirmed, right? Has anything ever really changed so far based on what we've known so far, right? So contingent on no surprises, right? Which I hope that we don't, right? If let's say we go into the FOMC meeting and the verbiage is still negative, but it is in alignment with our expectation, right? It's going to be raising a 50 basis point on the interest hikes. We're going to be working actively onto fighting inflationary pressure going forward. But we're going to be doing it in a gradual fashion, right? And if Jerome Powell is going to give us a more of a tactical, strategy on how we are going to be progressing with this rates and what's the plan that will look like going forward in the near term, without any surprise element. I think we have already seen enough negativity. We've been trying to bake in the negativity. The last thing we want is to have more surprises. And the bare minimum is if we don't have any surprises, that will be sufficient for us to rebound in a technical perspective. Because overall, the entire market on a technical perspective has already formed a death cross. And at the same time, we're highly submerged on the RSI scale as well, right? Around 20, 25 on the 70 scale. So it's already highly submerged. So for us to logically to keep selling down below the levels would not be the most logical, right? We might see some sort of a relief because of the alignment of the verbiage from Jerome Powell and then rebound. But in terms of like, that's more of a short term type of I guess my prediction. But in a long term wise, the ultimate factor that can solve and allow us to recuperate the momentum back up to more of a bull run going forward, to go back into the bullish channel, is for the Feds to really get their things together, right? But at this point right now, we have not heard anything from them that gives us any confidence or any substantive optimism at this point, right? So that's how I foresee it's going to be happening. I think the worst is probably baked in, mostly contingent on no surprises from Jerome Powell. Okay, so hopefully this is helpful in terms of like getting your frame, of mindset to be corrected. Like try to think about this logically rather than using your emotions. Like, yeah, I know it's selling off is is relatively harsh as well. It's like a water chamber of torture technically, and I get it. But let's mute the emotions. Let's think about how this sequence will look like going forward. But feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, right? I could be totally missed the ball. If Jerome Powell is gonna have this super surprise for us on this Wednesday. But let's just hope that we keep it that way, that we are aligned, so we can have a more tolerable summer. Yeah. So hopefully this is helpful. Hope you like the new camera, by the way. I just decided to make a good investment that this camera adjusts for the exposure, so I don't always look like I'm super exposed. Like I have like like a blowtorch in my face. So anyways, appreciate you. Have a good rest of the day. Take care.